Chapter 7. A Proper Introduction. The studio was silent for once. Victor sat at his secondary workstation in his apartment, bathed in the sterile white light of his monitor. Blueprints and sketches were layered across his desk, fashion proposals, half-hearted briefs from collaborators, and the remnants of his latest commissioned line. His fingers hovered above the keyboard, tapping out cold, automatic responses to clients he barely respected. "It's all flat," he muttered, deleting the fifth email in a row. "Safe, commercial, a corpse in a sequin dress." He leaned back, cigarette unlit between his lips, eyes narrowing at the screen. The last mock-up he submitted, a streamlined winter collection for a boutique with too much money and no vision, stared back at him like a betrayal. Bland, palatable, polished into oblivion. "How noble of you," came Daniela's voice, curling in from the back of his mind, amused and saccharine. "Art for the masses, dull fabric for dull bodies." Victor didn't flinch. He rolled the cigarette between his fingers, smirking. "Even artists have to eat." "You eat, darling, you feast on adoration, on the silence after the last stitch. Not this. This is beige." Victor stood up and stretched. The room felt colder. Not in temperature, but tone. He drifted past the open arch into his minimalist bathroom, flicked on the light. "Go on," Daniela purred, low and lilting. "Take a good look at yourself." He did, and at first, he saw himself, the tailored figure, the sculpted calm, the same man who had curated every angle of his existence. But then, it shifted. His reflection twisted. The symmetry of his face warped subtly, jaw too sharp, eyes sinking, cheekbones exaggerated like porcelain cracked from the inside. His lips pulled back into a grin he wasn't making. Victor didn't step back. He breathed slowly. "Even the gods were monsters," he whispered, watching his reflection distort, pulse and grin wider. "Before the world learned their names." Behind him, the phone chimed. He returned to the computer. A new message. Subject: "Finally found you." Sender: "Claudia. I hope this isn't too forward. I've followed your design work for years. The published lines, of course, but always felt there was something deeper behind it. I'd love the chance to meet the mind behind the cut. Coffee? My treat." Victor stared at the words. No links, no signature. Not a journalist, just genuine. Curious. "She wants a taste," Daniela teased. "She thinks she sees you." He chuckled and typed a poised response. "I'm always open to dialogue with those who appreciate construction." "You're blushing," Daniela mocked. "Careful. She might fall for you." "You're staying home," Victor replied aloud, fingers tracing the edge of his gloves folded neatly on the table. "I won't need you for coffee." The cafe was carved into a corner of the fashion district, polished concrete, minimalist lighting, and plants that only needed mist. Claudia was already there when he arrived, seated by the window, sipping something pale with mint. She rose when he approached, mid-30s, black bob cut perfectly even, fair skin that caught the afternoon light, and a tailored charcoal blouse tucked into ivory trousers, black-rimmed glasses, the kind that suggested she noticed too much. "You look exactly as I imagined," she said warmly. Victor offered a slight smile. "And you, like someone who knows what she wears." They sat. The first few minutes passed easily. She spoke about his older work, pinpointed specific tailoring choices he'd made, even referenced a brief capsule collection he had assumed no one remembered. "It was the way the shoulders sat," she said, thoughtful. "Almost military, but the waist, cinched like restraint. It felt dangerous." Victor tilted his head. He liked her. She asked about his inspirations, his methods, where he saw fashion going next. Forward, he said, but with teeth. The kind of elegance that makes you bleed when you wear it wrong. Claudia blinked once, then smiled. I knew there was more to it. Then the air shifted. Across the room, mounted near the espresso machine, a muted TV played a local news feed. Victor's gaze flicked to it mid-sentence. Task Force expands. Search. Serial offender in fashion district. The headline curled through him like thread pulled too tight. Blurred surveillance footage. A still image of a backlit alley. Sketches. One, not accurate, but close. Victor's throat closed. He couldn't hear Claudia anymore. The cafe dimmed. Every light was too bright and too distant. His chest tightened. Then, inside his coat pocket, his fingers brushed leather. The gloves. He hadn't meant to bring them, but they were there. Breathe, they whispered. Let them hunt. They're just admirers, afraid of what they can't wear. Victor inhaled, slow, precise. The weight in his chest lifted. Are you all right? Claudia asked, her voice filtered through layers of calm concern. He looked up, smile returning. Just distracted. Of course, well, I should let you go. This was truly lovely. She stood, gathering her purse. As she turned, Victor's eyes dropped to her outfit again. The blouse, his. The pants, his. But the belt, not his. Something loud and gold from another house. A clashing element against the restraint of the outfit. Obnoxious, shallow, lazy. The gloves squeezed his palm. A fraud, it whispered. A canvas painted by another hand. She doesn't deserve the cut. Victor stood. Claudia, he said gently. She turned, hopeful. Yes? He offered a poised, perfect smile. The belt wasn't a look. It ruins the line. Her smile faltered. Victor walked out before she could reply.